Michael, in this game of where you sometimes go backwards, you sometimes go forward, where are you at now after the steps you've taken in the previous 3 weeks?
It's a good question. We got some pretty good feedback around the things we need to be able to get right in our game that we didn't get right tonight. That's what we got. What have been, particular strengths in our game over the course of the full part of this season, not just the last few weeks, we just couldn't get right tonight. So it reinforces the strengths in your game that you need, but it sort of highlights why they're important to you. And the reality is that, even in the first 10 minutes of the game, our method around the ball wasn't good enough. We'd lost critical territory in the game. Roles that we have valued didn't get played well enough. So immediately when you're looking at the game, you're sort of thinking, geez, that's not us. And felt like really, to be honest with you, the rest of the game sort of played out somewhat the same. So, first 10 minutes, I think we had 5 forward-half turnovers. And just being able to play simple things and do simple things, have simple plays, and we weren't able to execute it. And to Adelaide's credit, they obviously applied the pressure for the entirety of the game, which continued to have us on the back foot and having to fight and chase and do things different and at times make things up to try and get the scoreboard ticking in a different way.
On that scoreboard, all the numbers kept showing they would go in and convert seemingly easily.
Third quarter is probably a great case in that.
But why is that?
Came out and sort of thought that we had more of the way we wanted to be able to play. I think they kicked one stoppage goal, and then they might have kicked, it was about 3 centre square bounce goals at the back end of the quarter. So that all happens in 3 minutes. So the work that was done to get us in a sound position and starting to take some things off the opposition was, in 3 or 4 minutes was impacted. So that's what made the night a bit harder, because every time we did feel like we got a grip on the game, it was ripped away through a play or not being able to defend. And centre square bounce was I'll let you look through the numbers. I think everyone's looked at the numbers. Yeah. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. So I haven't seen us beaten like that for a long time, long time.
So what you've talked about, everyone holding this inner belief, forget the outside things I said, but holding this inner belief of what you want to do, what the team wants to do. How do you get them to keep believing if they've done that tonight?
I think there's enough evidence there, and there's a body of work to see that you don't have to go too very, very far to know that the contest around our contest has been very strong for pretty much the entire season. The way we've defended has been pretty strong for the season. So having belief is about being able to have a body of work. We've got a body of work. So we didn't get it done tonight, but I don't think we should be trying to stretch it that far about how do you continue to keep believing. Belief is built off evidence over time, and there's been some things we've been working on in our game that we've been able to right in the last few weeks. But none of the phases really come together today. It was hard work the whole day, so we'll have to look at it pretty strongly. Enormously disappointed with the performance. But we'll look at it clearly like we have every single week. We'll rock up Monday. We'll see the things we need to get better at. But I don't think we're going to have to be going too far to find out what that is.
Not conceding goals from centre bounce has obviously been a strength this year. Have you got a sense of why that was such an issue today?
No, not really. I mean, in the end of the day, they certainly were able to get that ascendancy for a long period of time. But it's like I'd go even broader than that and just say I just don't think we defended very well. They were able to have their time with the ball. They were able to get valuable territory off, important parts of the game. And so when you're on your back foot and you're trying to generate a lot of your ball out of your back half, that's a huge ask across the game. You might get away with it once. You don't get away with it too many times. You might be able to get away with it for a quarter, but you don't for 4. And unfortunately, we were sort of asking that question too many times of us throughout the entire game.
Yeah, have you asked the players, Michael, about the feedback about their explanations for the performance yet, or will that come later?
No, that'll come later, because I think we sit at the end of the game and have, you know, I probably debriefed it more than what I traditionally have. Because I think sometimes having the immediate feedback is for something for all of us to be able to go and reflect on. But then come in really razor sharp on when we review, and we've then got to put some things in and move forward that we've got to get right this week against St Kilda. But we let ourselves down. We just, you know, they're beating too much around the ball. That's really what happened across the night, and they went from inside to out really quickly on us, and we weren't able to contain it.
Well, what prompted you to go from ground to back up into the box? What was your thought behind
No, I've been doing that for most of the year.
Most of the
Yeah,
year,
that's
yeah.
been the whole year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between what you feel on both levels?
Yeah, absolutely. One's very different in terms of what you do on the ground and the contact with the players, what you can see, and then obviously the other part with the coaches box is your connection with your line coaches and having the eyes. They're a bit different. I mean, it's really up to the coach. I think what we've seen across the competition, it's also even scenario based, maybe even quarter based from time to time. So everyone does something a little bit different. So really much to read into there, I wouldn't have thought. Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.